Opinions Unqualified with the dulcet tones of Nixy and Sam. Good work, Sammy. That was impressive. You've obviously been working on your uke skills and it's blown my mind.
Hey, hopefully it sounds alright, and watch out. You know, we might move away from podcasting or keep podcasting in the back pocket, and maybe you'll see us on a stage somewhere nearby.
Yeah, well, we are the other night actually, on New Year's Eve. Obviously, it's our first show of the new year, so happy New Year to you, Sam, and to all of our listeners as well. We had a little stage set up in the shed, and it was a night with just Jacinta and I were making cocktails, and we had the amp plugged in, and we had the microphone on, and we ended up doing some little shows. So obviously an audience of one, but it was still a good time. So runs are on the board, Sammy.
Hey, exactly. There you go. And the more practice you get,
I think so.
The better it's going to get.
Yep. No, just have some fun with it. And I think if you're playing music or being creative for anything other than yourself, it becomes more of a job, which is obviously less joyful. So it's definitely something that I think both of us do for our own benefit, I guess. Yeah,
well, I'm not playing it to too many other people, that's for sure.
So some pretty big news out of the Opinions Unqualified analytics room recently.
Yeah, so we've cracked over 2,000 total plays or downloads, which is pretty cool, a big number.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it actually surprised me when you walked in and said 2,000 plays.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of those plays are my mum and Mooka.
Yeah, look, it could be a high rate, that's for sure. But that's cool. And hopefully it just keeps on clicking over.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I did mention it's the new year. So obviously when there's a new year, there's New Year resolutions.
Yeah, so, right.
I thought we'd have our own little Opinions Unqualified New Year's resolution session here and sort of set some goals within our lives to see if we can achieve it by the end of the 12 months. Obviously, we're in a format that's recorded now, so we can look back at it and there's no turning back, I guess. So have you thought about any resolutions? Do you believe in resolutions to start with?
No, I actually don't do the whole resolution thing. I kind of just, I don't know, I think if you want to change something or do something, do it when you start thinking about it, Don't wait to the new year or whatever. And it's like, I've seen this, I think it was a meme, and it was like, put your hand up if you said that you were going to eat healthy for your New Year's resolution thing.
Yep.
And then they're like, put your hands up if you decided to wait till Monday, because obviously New Year's Eve was on a weekend, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, put your hands up if you waited till Monday. So it's like, yeah.
So you had 3 days in the year to already cheat your resolution.
Yeah, kind of thing. So I reckon once you start thinking about it, just do it. But maybe we can just. I can do some. We can maybe. Do you do resolutions?
Nah, I don't either. That's why I thought it'd be interesting for us. And then I'm the same. I'm very much. You should be living every day to try and get the most out of yourself, and obviously put yourself in the best possible position to be successful and provide for your family and the people that you care about. I thought it'd be a nice little fun activity, though. So maybe make them a little bit outrageous, I guess, because I think like a lot of people have resolutions like a bucket list item, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's just go. How about we do a personal one or like one for us, and then we'll do some Opinions Unqualified ones as well.
All right, cool.
Keep it.
Yeah. I would like to drive go-kart this year.
Have you seen, is that because of the Optus Stadium or whatever? You've seen the Daniel Ricciardo thing?
Yeah, I think there's a track there at the moment. They put it, with some fairly good ones, like higher speed karts. Yeah. So I think that'd be fun. I haven't done that for a long time. So I think that'd be something, and I'd like to take Kyan on a little trip like that. So I think that'd be fun. As a fun activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's something I haven't done in years. So I think I have to put the planning in place to make sure I do it.
Do it, yeah. Makes sense. My one. I'm really...
Actually, there's another one too. I want to go bouldering with you.
Yeah, bouldering, yeah.
I think that's something I'd like to do this year as well.
Good fun.
Maybe when I get a little bit stronger.
That's why you got these rings here, eh?
I do. Yeah,
That's why you can
Olympic rings
get
there.
your practice in.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nah. Oh, there's obviously professional things.
Yeah.
Like keep growing as a coach and win another championship would be nice. But that's not fun for anyone
nah.
to hear.
Well, I mean, I'd like to be a millionaire, you know. If Flight Centre, you know, I don't know. I think the board has said they might close again, but if they open up again sometime soon, hopefully Flight Centre does really well.
Yep.
And that will help on my journey. And then maybe, you never know what else could happen, what other opportunities could pop up in the future.
Yep.
In terms of that.
I think it's probably some family ones as well. I think people need to start thinking, because I probably don't talk to my mum enough.
Yeah.
So if I sort of put I talk to her on the phone once a week type resolution in, it'll sort of force me to do that.
Yeah.
Because your parents get old, they get unwell, and I think when you're going through life and pushing through, you know, your day to day, which is a grind for everyone, you forget, you know, the important people in your life. So maybe just trying to keep in contact with those people a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. I think, and then obviously for me, the other thing, you just try smash out another year of uni, get it done, and then just keep on building and doing what I got to do. Maybe just, I don't know, do more stuff by myself, even though I already do quite a bit by myself. But why not more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big plans for 2021, Sam? Other than the uni?
No, not really. Well, you can't really travel at the moment. Well, you can, but not where I want to go and whatnot. What's on the things?
I think it might maybe nice to get 500 listeners to the pod by the end of the year, like consistent. That's
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So finding ways to get more people listening to the pod.
To get us out there a little bit more.
Yeah. So being a little bit more active there. I think that's a good plan. Like that's like a, you know, there's no meat to that plan at all.
No.
But I think it's still a nice plan. So, if anyone wants to come on the pod and share the love a little bit and get it out there, we'd be very, very interested in that. And you had an interesting idea about small business as well. We love to get involved with some small businesses and give them some promotion. So, if everyone's got a small business they want to come on, we're definitely more than keen to promote that and help that happen as well. So.
Exactly. And I think another thing that we should, as our opinions unqualified, I think we have said it we have said a couple times we've said that we need to organise some sort of event that has been talked about that we probably didn't follow through on in a respectable time limit. Yeah. Not saying that we didn't want to do it, but it just, our timing's not very good.
Hashtag life.
Yeah. And then also, we've got our one beer review up, and I'm not going to lie, that's probably, apart from the podcast, you know, and just saying it's cool what you're doing and whatnot, the next most thing is, you should do more beer reviews and stuff like that. So I think we should maybe try and make a habit to follow through on that a little bit more as well.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to switch on to... It's actually it's sort of marketing, product endorsement, I guess, which is really, really weird for us. But anyone that plays sport, so obviously you and I played a lot of sport and bust our fingers and, you know, hurt all the time. So obviously being married, you're meant to wear a wedding ring.
Yeah.
So I haven't worn my wedding ring in a while because I've hurt my ring finger. Little boxing activity with my mate Jake at the front. So it was a while ago, about 12 months ago. And the ring won't go back on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so, you know, it's not that I don't want to wear it. I just can't get it back on. And then if I do get it, I can't get it back off again. You know, when you're playing sport and things and lifting particularly with the weight, you got to take them off, or otherwise you can do some damage. So I've got this rubber ring now, which is quite interesting. So Jacinta went and got me this ring that's made out of silicone.
Yeah.
So now I can sort of stretch it and twist it and basically pull it off whenever I want. I can do physical activity with it. So if there's anyone out there that has those issues, I just thought I'd have a shout. I thought it was pretty cool.
It looks interesting.
Yeah, so I got it in green, which is I think pretty cool. It's a
Fits well.
Colour.
Fits well.
Fits well now, and Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I never even knew you could do that. You know, and I'm obviously not a big jewelry guy, but you know, so if anyone's after, you know, things that can come off nice and fast, then the old silicon ring.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
At a shop near you.
Yeah, I don't even know how she got it or where she got it, but you know, you might have to do a bit of research behind that. But there it is. Talking about research, media, Sam.
Yeah, well, obviously the media is probably one of the most powerful organisations in the world, and what the media portrays is usually generally what the people want to hear or people believe, so to say. And obviously with New Year's recently and that, there's a lot more people out at night and stuff like that. And whenever there seems to be trouble, right?
Yep.
It always tends the headline or something will be drunken, alcoholic, all that, you know.
Yep.
Always about that.
Booze fueled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, is probably true. That a lot of it is alcohol fueled.
Yep.
But I would also like to know what other illicit things has that person had before, and why does that not get into the forefront of the story?
Well, I guess from my perspective, if you're talking about illicit drugs, like illegal drugs, like some of the things that people might go out and party on, it's hard to get proof of that, where it's really easy to get proof that they were drinking just because you're able to do that in public, and people saw them drinking. People tend to do those other things outside of public view.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be hard for a journalist without hard evidence to say that it was fueled by those things. And I think we all know certain people react differently to different alcohols.
Yeah.
And yeah, particularly young males, if they get the skin full. Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be. Yeah. It can get pretty nasty. So my advice to the young kids is just don't drink.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, my other theory is why they do this is because the one thing that the government or whatever can tax is alcohol. They can't necessarily tax the other things that are going on.
Well, I guess, and that's where the big conversation comes in. If you're talking about like the financial implications of making alcohol illegal, that's like the amount of money that big corporation and the government makes from alcohol is astronomical.
Exactly.
So it's not something I think and it could be completely, again, it's an unqualified opinion. I think, you know, there is a push from certain section of government to legalise some illegal drugs because of the taxing and the financial benefits that the government could get from it as well. And again, I could be completely wrong, but then there's an element of control as well. So that's why I think there's a big push for those drug, you know, at festivals and things where you can take the drugs.
Little safe zones or whatever they want to.
Yeah, so they obviously there's no financial benefit to them there, but I think it's the health benefit that they get from that. People with drug testing, they do it.
So it's interesting.
Those drug testing things actually always intrigue me because they're illegal. Like, it's illegal to have these drugs.
Yeah.
And you've got a drug testing place at a festival or a concert. Why wouldn't the police just stand next to the drug testing place and just arrest them all?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But I mean, I guess it's also
I think they've
possession as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they've sort of come to the fact that people are going to do it, and they'd rather it be a safe, you know, in that sort of people like festivals are more. It's more likely to be used in an event like that, I guess. So.
Yeah, well, you do. I have watched a few documentaries, and a lot of the for addicts and stuff like that, it's a lot more about safe use than stopping them. Which is interesting. It sounds fair. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's just not something I'd partake in. I don't feel like it. it can't be healthy. But anyway, it's interesting. I think you're right. If journalists and the media could prove that people were using other things and there was a consistent sort of link between a certain substance and violence, then they would obviously headline that. But to be honest with you, with the alcohol thing, there is proof and they've seen it. You've seen people. So I think it's an easy out as well. So it's not necessarily the...
Yeah, exactly.
But
attention biting.
Yeah, it is.
So
talking about attention biting.
Yeah.
All right. So you're scrolling through Instagram.
Right.
All right. And you get on the Instagram stories.
Yeah.
All right. So they're flicking up. And we all get on the Instagram or the Facebook now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Facebook. And we go through stories because it's just easier rather than scrolling through ads and all of that. It's an ad-free type environment generally.
Yeah.
You know, might get an ad every now and then, but you can really quickly
just skip
flick
through
them. What things are the things that stop you when you're scrolling through a story?
Well, I guess it really depends.
Yep.
Just how interesting I find whatever the story is.
Yep.
But I do love to partake in a poll or a slide, you know, with the love heart eyes on the thing or something, and you can slide it to see. I tend to, every time I see one of those, I'll have a look at what they're trying to ask and click it. It only takes like 3 seconds, so.
See, I think I'm more likely to click on a poll than I am a slide thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because with a slide thing, it's sort of like, well, how much do I actually love this? You know?
Too much thought.
Yeah, yeah. And I think most people, if they're going to slide it, they're going to slide it the whole way anyway. So I feel like it's not a relevant...
meter.
Yeah, a meter of what people's thoughts are. But I've never obviously had one, so I don't know if people do half slide. Do you half slide or do you full slide?
Yes, sometimes. Depends what it is.
So say there's a Big Jack. Picture of a Big Jack.
Big Jack. Probably...
Negative slide it.
Well, I wouldn't negative slide it, but I'd maybe just like tap it so it just stays roughly in the same spot.
Say there was a picture of like a pristine beach.
I'd probably full scroll.
Yeah, full slide that one. Right to the end?
You're right to the end.
Yeah. So we have polls.
We do. We do like to put out a poll every once in a while.
I do like the polls. And I've actually quite enjoyed the Adam Sandler versus Will Ferrell poll.
Yeah, it was good to see.
Surprising result.
Yeah.
Really? Adam Sandler ended up winning that?
Nah. It was... Will
won it in the end.
I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Did I post
Last
up the
time
thing?
I checked. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I posted up the results.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so I think Will Ferrell should win that personally.
I think he did. I'm not gonna lie.
But then you go to Adam Sandler, like the Happy Gilmore versus Step Brothers.
Yeah.
I tick Happy Gilmore though.
Yeah, I ticked Happy Gilmore as well.
Yeah. I think it's a better film.
But that was very close as well. I'm not sure whether the results for that one got posted, and I'm trying to. But I remember we're talking about it when we were having a look before it was finished. It was pretty much even.
Neck and neck.
Yeah.
So that's a good poll. When that's neck and neck, I think that's a good poll.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I guess the question is, what makes people skip past it? Because you always have so many more views than clicks.
Yeah.
So what are the reasons do you think people skip past the polls and they don't vote on a poll? Or what do you think makes people vote as like the alternative to that?
Well, I think sometimes, if you follow too many people, you get lots of stories.
Yep.
When you get lots of stories and following lots of people, and maybe a large quantity of those people you don't actually care about, maybe the wrong thing to say, but...
They're not front of your mind at this point in time. Yeah.
So when you get a big bunch of all these stories, you're just tapping away, trying to get through all these stories.
Do you know what frustrates me with stories?
What frustrates you?
When they have like 15 stories, there should be a limit on how many stories you can put on a day. Like, so I'll say, like, I'll flick through, one person's got like 2 images or like an image in a video.
Yeah. And
then the next person has 1, then another person has like 3 or 4, and you're like, yeah, I can get through 3 or 4. And then the next person has 25. Yeah. And you're just like, all right, I'm getting out of stories now. I'm going to flick past it because I see there's 25 stories here.
Yeah.
So I think if you put too much there, you just get off. Because there's certain people on Instagram now that I look at, I'm like, man, I'm not even going to look at their story because I know it's going to be like 45 minutes of my time.
Yeah, exactly. I regularly actually go through the people that I follow.
Yep.
And question myself, like, do I really need to be
following this person?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, I might get rid of, I don't know, 10 or 15 people every time.
And you don't get notified when you
I don't know.
do you?
Well, even if I did, if they said they can message me, I'm more than happy just to be like, oh, look.
Too many stories, mate.
Yeah, like, you know.
Anyway, sorry for cutting off there. Yeah, so, so what I think is, as people are flicking and scrolling through, they just don't see it. They don't see it because they're going through so fast.
Paying
so
attention.
Just, it's like, I don't know. There's got to be something that jumps out to me to make me stop.
But if someone knows the secret to it, let us know. Because obviously we have put out some of these questions, and it's been very good. And we're very thankful to the people who do vote, because it's usually quite good talk for us when we're just catching up.
Yeah, man,
to
we
see
have
how
good
the polls.
banter.
We do enjoy it. You know, and we I think we're around 200 and something followers on Instagram.
Yep.
You know, and I wouldn't mind if we had a couple more people that would just take 5 seconds out of their time when they're scrolling past our story and partake in the poll.
Yeah. I think we're talking about highly important global issues.
Exactly.
Will Ferrell versus Adam Sandler.
Your word matters.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And just think, like, if you're one person that votes in our poll, you could be 25% of the vote.
You could be. Yeah, you could be a big part.
You mentioned you watched Role Models.
Yeah, I did watch Role Models the other night.
Right, so there's a couple of things I want to talk about before we get onto the subject we were going to talk about.
Okay.
So, Role Models has Stifler.
Yeah, Stifler.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd in it. So Paul Rudd is the other actor, not Stifler. He's the other actor.
Oh, right, yeah. It's also got Ken Jeong.
Oh yeah, Ken Jeong in it. Yeah. So he's so when I talk about Stifler, and Paul Rudd, I think this is like a perfect leeway into the conversation we're about to have. Is that, do you know what Stifler's real name is?
No, like, I've got an idea. I was actually trying to think when I was watching it. I was like, I think I know his name, but I'd probably be far away from what it actually is.
So no, I do not know that guy's name at all. All I know is that he's Stifler.
Yeah, I like, you know when you have something on the tip of your tongue, and you think you know it. So
I think if his name popped up in front of us, we'd get it.
Yeah,
but, we don't know what it is. Whereas Paul Rudd, I think he's just a different sort of actor. I'd know him. Like, I can see him. He's been in 100 movies, and you just know who he is. Yeah, I guess. Which sort of leads us to one of the characters in Role Models, which is one of the kids. Now, I know him as multiple different roles, but would not know his name at all. I couldn't tell you who he is.
No idea what his name his name is.
I couldn't tell you what his name is, and he's probably most famous for
Mclovin
in Superbad.
Yeah.
So I guess actors, they get known for their roles rather than like actually who they are. Because Mclovin is also Red Fury in another, like, it's superhero. It's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
With Nicolas Cage in it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So he's the bad guy. He's one of the bad young bad guys in it as well. So I remember him from that role. I remember him from the Role Models role where he's a geeky medieval fan, and Mclovin. But I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
I think there's been a couple others that he's popped up in. I couldn't tell you what movie it is. But he's just one of those guys that just pops up and you're like, oh no, this guy's actually pretty funny, eh?
So if we think about it, there's probably, Stifler's another one. Like, the guy's Stifler.
And he's been in a couple of movies as well where he makes like a little appearance and you're like, oh, it's Stifler.
Stifler's in it. Yeah. Obviously from American Pie. But what other roles, I guess. Can you think of anyone else that sort of you wouldn't have a clue who they are, but you remember the role?
See, I'm going a different direction with this, right?
Yeah.
While it's fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
So I know this person's name, but there's so many movies that you're just watching it and he pops in, especially from when he was younger and he wasn't as big, that you're like, oh, what? Like, I didn't know that he had like a 2-minute cameo in this movie.
Yep.
Which is Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, so many... You watch some of those older movies...
Yeah.
When he was particularly overweight.
Yeah.
Comes in my mind, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, he's
when he
in that.
makes that little part when he's trying to buy the heels with the fish in the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those ones where you're just like, oh wow, like he just has this little 2-minute thing that like.
But then he got big for a bit. So when it take him to the Greek, he was in that.
Yeah.
He had a bigger role in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He was in that. So I actually quite like that movie. But
yeah, he was in that, but it's still the same, like
smaller-ish role as well. I think it's the same. Seems like the same character as Getting to the Greek, but yeah, I guess yeah. But he got big for a bit and then he was gone.
Yeah.
Where is he now? What's he doing? He lost a heap of weight apparently.
Yeah, he's lost heaps of weight. Well, he did Wolf of Wall Street. When was that?
Oh yeah, that was
a while back,
a few years back. He was really good in that too. Yeah.
I can't remember if he's done it. Oh, he actually. Oh, was it him that did it? Mid-90s?
Never seen it.
It was a great movie on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's his first movie that he produced or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
About little skater boy.
Awkward kid. Yeah. You remember you saying talking about that.
I tell everyone to watch it. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, I can't remember if
they're missing out on it. It's on Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to check. I will check that one out. Yeah, mid-90s. Yeah, I remember now.
But yeah.
I think that's how people start. Though, like Will Ferrell was the same. Like he'd pop up
little random movies. But how funny is it though? Like when you've forgotten, and now that you know that they're so big, you know, like they're quite well known, and you do go back to like that older movie, and you're just like, oh, what? Like, I did not know that he was in there. Like, or some random movie that you haven't watched before. Yeah, you know, that's way older, and you're just like, oh wow, like I did not know that person was in that movie.
Yeah, and you look at it and go, oh wow, Ben Affleck was in it. Wow, really? Yeah, or Ryan Reynolds just pops up in a random movie. I think it's interesting, particularly that Superbad kid, like Mclovin. Like and he's similar role, I guess.
He's
when you got a voice like him,
he's always plays that similar role, but he's good though. He's quite funny.
Yeah.
And also the other kid in Role Models is hilarious.
Hilarious African American kid. Yeah. Oh, he's insanely funny.
Top quality.
Yeah, very very funny. So I've got a friend of mine who's got a pretty neat trick. So what he does is when we're out having a couple of beers, he'll bite his cheek.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so he'll bite his cheek, and if he can't feel it when he bites it, he knows it's time to leave. Whereas if he can feel it, like the pain, he's like, all right, cool, I'm all right, I'm not intoxicated. Just yet.
Is that legit?
Yeah, legit. Yeah. So I've got a friend that does that, which I think's quite a extreme way.
It is extreme, but I mean, when you think about it, it's not that bad of an idea, actually.
Yeah. So he just does. I can't think of anything worse than sort of biting my lip. Probably.
And how does he know how to do it consistently?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a hard bite or
what kind of.
Yeah.
Like, how angry does he get when he bites?
It depends what he's had. I guess. But I'm sure he's had days where he's gone home and he's bleeding in the mouth. So probably the worst thing, worse than biting your cheek or your lip, would be biting your tongue.
Biting your tongue, yeah. It's not a great experience, especially when you're chomping down on something and you get it.
Mm. And it just like
Yeah,
and when you're sort of eating something, then you can't eat it anymore because your tongue hurts.
Exactly. It's a real vibe killer.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it, do you? You know,
No.
biting your tongue.
No.
But What about when you burn your tongue? What would you rather? Or what one's worse?
So I'm just trying to process that in my mind. If biting or burning my tongue, because I know you have like some soup or like a cup of tea or coffee. Coffee's probably the worst one for it. So you get a coffee in the morning on your way to work, and they make it too hot. You go to have a sip because you're expecting it to be at a temperature that's drinkable, and then you just burn your tongue. Like, But they don't tend to last as long. So I think I don't know. I think biting's still worse. I think I'd rather burn my tongue than bite my tongue.
See, I feel that obviously I think the initial pain of biting your tongue may be worse than burning your tongue.
Yep.
But sometimes when I burn my tongue, you kind of feel like the next couple of days you know that you've burnt your tongue. Do you get that feeling? Like when you eat food, like you can just tell like there's a spot on your tongue that's been burnt.
I feel like if I bite it though, like I'll bite it again. You know, when you bite your tongue, you re-bite it, and it's like,
it gets in the way,
It starts because it swells up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably go a little bit of a different tangent here, but say you burn your tongue, do your taste buds get burnt, and can you not taste things properly for a few days?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's why I feel like I can't. I feel there's a spot that's been burnt.
Yeah, because that would be, for me, that would be worse than biting my tongue.
Yeah.
Just dealing with the fact I couldn't taste things as well
as you wanted, especially like if you got something good the next day lined up or something.
Yeah. Well, so you're going out to dinner and you spend $50 on a meal and a drink, and you're like, oh man, that's expensive, and you can't eat it properly. That would really, really suck. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is. Maybe that may be a poll.
I think that's a good poll.
Bite or burn tongue.
Bite or burn your tongue.
Yeah. What would you...
What's your preference?
Yeah, what would you rather?
What would you rather? Yeah. It's one of those questions where, all right, you're going to die.
Which one? Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough...
This way.
This may be a hard poll.
Yeah, I think that one's a hard one. I think I'm going to go with I'd rather burn than bite my tongue. Yeah. But it depends on the severity of the burn
I think I'm going... Let's say both are...
Pretty severe.
Moderate to high. You know, not going to really ruin it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, you know, you're not going to just deal with it at the time and forget about it.
Yeah, so it's going to linger for a bit.
Yeah. I'm going, I'd rather bite my tongue. That's what I'm going for, I think.
All right. Yeah, I think we're probably going the other way. Ooh. I think I'd rather burn my tongue.
There we go. Next poll. Line it up.
Do you think there's much worse? Say when you're walking down the street or down the beach.
Yeah.
And you're in your thongs.
Yeah.
And then it breaks.
Blow a plugger.
Nothing
worse.
There's not much worse than that, is there?
Nah.
Anyway, I don't know why I thought of that.
Do you bread clip it?
I've seen people that I don't bread clip it. Because I only buy those really cheap ones, like $5 pluggers. So for me, it's sort of like, well, I'll just go get another pair.
I always had cheap ones. Then my brother got me a pair, I'm pretty sure, for Christmas a couple of years ago, and they're still holding up. But I'm pretty sure the ones before I did a bread clip on it.
My last pair of good ones, I had got some Havanas.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually, you know how usually the plugger pulls through?
Yeah.
The hole? But actually, the stem broke.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it didn't actually pull through the hole. It was like the stem actually... That was weird. Like, it must have been a faulty one.
Faulty.
Yeah, and I probably should have sent them back to Havanas and said, you know, I've paid this much money for a pair of thongs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but... Anyway, yeah, I just felt like there's not much worse than that. Do you know what there's not much better than?
What's not much better than?
Fast food vouchers.
Fast food vouchers.
Because I think there's two schools of thought, I guess, with vouchers. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to use them because I look budget. And then there's people like me, I'm going to save some money, so I'm using the vouchers. So just a little quick story. So being holidays, we treat the family, you know, every now and then, and you know, we've decided to go and get some chicken.
Yeah.
And we fed the whole family. I think we got 2 quarter chicken and chips, 2 pieces of fried chicken and chips, plus 10 nuggets for $20.
Not bad.
Which made me think, for $20, you can't even feed your family on a normal night for that amount of money. It's very, very cheap. So I'm just thinking, there's an obesity issue.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are eating fast food.
Yeah.
Do vouchers, and just how cheap fast food is now. Do you think people are getting obese because they can't afford to eat properly? Because you go to a shopping centre, it's a lot more expensive to buy groceries.
Yeah, well, that's a tough one, because I think if you really planned out what you're going to eat,
Yep.
I think you can eat for almost as cheap or cheaper than fast food.
Yep.
Back to, when did we talk about tuna? Last week or
yeah.
week before? Like, what's a can of tuna is like $1.
$1? Yep.
Loaf of bread, like $1 something.
$3, yeah.
Or if you get the home brand, like that's $1
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Get some vegetables or something.
Yeah.
Some cheese.
Yep.
Like there, you got yourself some toasted sandwiches. For pretty cheap.
Or for the same price, you can go get a burger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's up to that person, isn't it? It's the ease, isn't it, that gets it, I think.
Well, I think convenience as well.
Yeah.
People's busy lifestyles. But I'm shocked at how cheap it is to go out and buy crap food.
Yeah, I see. I think it's, I guess, from my short time in America,
Yep.
I still have I still see prices here and I'm like, oh.
Oh, America's insane.
Like, take me back to the times of when I could get, like, my Wendy's 4 for $4 and stuff like that. Like
50-cent cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you know, big time on, some of their nugget deals were insane. So I think I don't actually get fast food that much anymore.
Yeah?
I can't even remember last time I got fast food. I mean, not including the kebab shop, because that gets visited frequently.
Yeah. I think that's a time of night. That's not because you can't go home and make a racket.
Yeah, I'm not sure last time I went and got fast food. I used to love it. I used to always get it quite often, but now I think my taste buds are matured, I think.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing better than a home cooked meal, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the cost and convenience, maybe there's an argument there that some people, particularly younger people that haven't been educated, would eat fast food regularly because of the price and the fact that they can get things cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it definitely...
Which adds to the obesity issue and the health issues that we have.
I think, it doesn't help. Well, busy lives, convenience, less time for activities. Busy lives means tired, can't be bothered.
Yep. Convenience.
Less activities, more convenience. I think it all ties into each other, I think, that stuff.
Something the other day, so we were driving in you and I were driving in an Uber the other day, and we were talking to the driver about how much they could earn if they were working full-time hours.
Yeah.
As a Uber Eats driver. So this Uber driver said if he was an Uber Eats driver full-time, he could earn $80,000 to $90,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot more than a lot of people are earning, and it's delivering fast food, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just thought that was interesting. It sort of indicates to me that there's a lot of people using those services.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I brought it up because I watched some guy see how much money he could make in a year, I think, on Uber or Uber Eats, one of the things.
Yep.
And he was on track for $100,000 for the year. He was working like 12-hour days, I think.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Okay.
Like it's
that's full on. Yeah.
Full on.
Yeah.
But I guess,
I'm not thinking that was like 40 to 50 hours, like a normal person.
Yeah, flat out.
Flat out?
Like just working. When you're awake, you're working. Which, I mean...
It's a pretty social job anyway. So
yeah,
I guess you're getting your people time.
if you like doing that. And, I mean, nothing says that you can't take 15 minutes to go do something that you need to do or want to do or something like that. So...
I guess... was watching the Office Christmas Party movie the other day.
Yeah.
And there's a scene with an Uber driver in it where Jennifer Aniston gets in the car to go to the airport, and she's like, "I'm my own CEO," and I'm like, "Well, they sort of they're running their own business. The convenience
they
of
make their own,
making their own hours or whatnot. So if you want to work like a crazy man, I'm sure you'll make a bunch of money. But if you don't, if that's not you, then you won't." The other interesting thing with Uber that I've been in a few now that hire the cars. So they rent the cars they use for Uber rather than using their own vehicle because it works out to be cheaper if they do a certain amount of miles or something.
Yeah, I do remember seeing some. I'm pretty sure there's actual companies, not like your normal rent-a-car place, but like actual businesses that are set up for those people.
Yeah.
So they rent off them.
Yep.
And that's how I don't know how it all works, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
and like sometimes for people that can't, maybe if you can't afford that car, because you have to have it has to be 10 years.
Less than 10 years old.
Yeah, less than 10 years old and all that. So if you can't afford that or whatever, you can rent and do it that way.
And I'm sure it's all taxable income too because they're using it for work.
Yeah, I guess
also taxable spending, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how that all works, but...
Yeah, I think there'd be tax benefits from that as well. So
Right.
I just thought it was really interesting that people go out and do that. So at the start of today's pod...
Yes.
You played some uke.
Yeah.
All right, so I play a little bit of guitar, as some people know. And I find it really difficult to find like a good tuner.
Right.
For... like my guitar. So I end up downloading an app or whatever and you think it's pretty good and it does it, and then they start to try and sell you stuff. So you delete that app and then you get a new app. Because it's something really simple you don't want to just have to pay for all the time. How do you tune the ukulele?
Well, thanks to you and your app, that's what I use. I just use that one. And it does the job, so that's what I do.
And with the ukulele, what made you want to play it?
Because I had it. I'm pretty sure I've had this ukulele since I was... It might have even been something that was brought over from... might have bought in one of our holidays to Belgium and somewhere and made its way back here and then was away for a very, very, very long time probably somewhere.
Yep.
And then obviously you playing your guitar and whatnot and... I do have sometimes a bit of free time in my life, so it's always interesting and it's always a good challenge to try and learn something different or pick up something different. So
awesome. Well, I'm proud of you. I think it's great. So I've got a New Year's little request for you.
Yeah.
Right. By the end of the year, I'd like you to be able to play a song and sing it on the uke.
That's what my biggest problem is. I've found. Is I can't keep my strumming patterns.
Okay.
I lose time with my strumming patterns. Not even trying to sing or anything like that.
Mm.
But then, even when I'm like, when I'm watching my video on how to play it, and I'm just like, I'll try and not necessarily sing, but like try say the words while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I start talking, my strumming pattern just goes haywire. And it's a bit like, I think it's a bit like the, like rub your head and...
Tap your head and rub your tummy. Yeah.
That kind of that thing. Like just once you start adding something else into it, it just ruins me. So I think I need to work a little bit more on...
So my advice to people, speak to people about this at times, is remember when you first started driving your car?
Yeah.
So you're learning how to drive your car and then you're driving down a straight road and then something catches your eye on the side of the road and you start to turn towards the side of the road because you've turned your head.
Yeah.
And you just automatically get good at that, become conscious of it, and it's just practicing it, and you become a lot better at it. So I think it's the same with singing and playing a musical instrument. The more you do it, the more mistakes you make, the sort of better you get at it. So just giving yourself the time and,
Yeah. And that's my biggest... I don't have the best attention span, so, like, my maximum's probably, 15 minutes.
Yep.
Once 15 minutes hits, I'm probably thinking about doing something else or something. So
yeah, well, I'll sit down and play guitar for for hours. Yeah,
See,
at times. So.
there it is.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference. But I think if I give you a whole year,
Maybe, yeah,
one year. All right, so podcast number 1 of 2022.
Yeah,
I expect
yeah,
you'll be able
right.
to play something.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I can't guarantee anything, but you know, we're at that time, Nixy.
Well, it's been number 37.
37, I'm pretty sure.
37, the pod from heaven. Love it. Just again rolling along. Thank you to all of the people that listen and contribute and are active in what we're doing. We really appreciate the support. If you've got any subjects you want us to talk about and cover, we'd love to get onto those. And obviously, if anyone wants to come on the pod, we're very open to having conversations with people as unqualified as us.
Exactly. Let us know, and yeah, thank you very much.
Sure.